Testing, mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's there. Anyways, mic check, 1 2. I know it's been a little while. This is Design Theory, right? I mean, all of this is a skate spot, so it's really what I'm about to. Oh shit! Did not expect that to happen. Yes. All right, so the tablet dropped on the floor, almost cracking it wide open. The screen is damaged, and yeah, I'm not the most thrilled right now. I don't know if this thing is even recording. I don't think it is, but we will try to resume right now. All right, it looks like we've got some recording action. So since the lens is not completely damaged, geez, one little fault in this whole fucking thing. All right, anyways, all right, so spot check, obviously it's not a full spot check. It's more Design Theory and some things that I've noticed. The big thing I'm gonna point out is this underpass here. Bunch of Negro squirrels, one Negro squirrel getting chased by a brown squirrel. But I love this underpass because this reminds me of Ocean Parkway near the hospital in Brooklyn, where we used to skate underneath, and sometimes we would DIY shit. I feel like this would be a dope spot to DIY some stuff. But the main reason I'm showing you this is Design Theory for issues that affect safety, in terms of, am I gonna die or am I gonna live, right? So this is an entire bike path, pedestrian path, and shout out to these signs. You see them all over the city, particularly you see them on the floor, right? So the vehicles that are designed to pass through this thoroughfare or thoroughway or whatever that term is are pedestrian in nature, right? Not cars, right? So typically what I've noticed with Department of Transportation is that because you're in a car comfortably seated and driving, signage is usually located at a point where your eyes can see, right? So right now we've got a stop sign here, and what kills me about this particular stop sign is that it's very tiny and it's high above the ground, right? And when you're on your bike, your skateboard, your scooter, your e-mobility device, your wheelchair, 99% of the times you are looking at the roadway in front of you, because that's where most of the damage and accidents happen. You're also looking there for slip hazards, trip hazards, fall hazards, potholes, cracks, inconsistencies, and of course you're looking for fecal matter, right? So what kills me about this little intersection here is that at this park, which extends, I forget how far, but it goes a couple of blocks, right? Beautiful concrete park, right? That's the concrete plant in the background, I believe. But that sign is so high, right? It's funny, I knew that this existed prior to biking up and down this area. But what kills me is that you've got a railing, right? You've got a rail that goes this way and a rail that starts here and goes that way. So basically you have to snake through this, and this is a traffic stop with cars, lights. And what kills me is if you are booking it, let's say you're booking it this way and you're not really paying attention to some shit that's way up in the sky, and you get down here, your potential for crashing into those barriers and or something worse happening is extremely high. I suggest anytime you see these types of things, right? You see there's a man on the floor, there's a guy on a bike on the floor, there's an arrow on the floor. That sign right here, this sign, let me get this in focus or in light. This sign right here should be on the floor, and then there should also be tactile strips, the way they put them everywhere else. Because as a cyclist, as a skater, as a motorist, as just a general New Yorker who gets around, right? Round and round, right? I get around. But the point I'm making is maybe even 100 feet, there should be notification on the ground with tactile strips. Looks like there's a camera way up top, right? Tactile strips going bump ahead, right? Right here you've got a guy on the ground, and you've got a motherfucking whatchamacallit on the ground. And it tells me that when people are designing these things, they're not giving it their sort of full undivided attention. It tells me that they're not sharing information across the board. Everywhere you go in the city where there's some sort of an emergency issue or light or cross intersection, whether it's railway, whatever, there is some sort of signage on the ground, and most importantly, there are those tactile painted strips, the bumps. You go brum, brum. You start getting aware, not just visually, but vibrationally, right? So you can feel it, physically feel it in your bones, right? So feel your own bones, right? So yeah, design theory, I think they can do a much better job here and in general. But in addition, all of this came to my attention last night when I was biking from that section through here, and I realized, as dark as it is, these handrails, I'm sorry, not handrails, but guardrails, you would never notice those guardrails, right? You fucking just won't. You won't notice those guardrails. So what I suggest, tactile strips, glow in the dark photoluminescent strips, everything that's painted reflective of some nature or photoluminescent, and these should all be yellow. Those guardrails that are going perpendicular to the pathway should be painted and of a photoluminescent or glow in the dark safety color / feature. There should even possibly be lights that flash and warn you, hey, you're coming to a full stop, because you could fucking die. Anyway, spot check, and really spot check design theory. And again, that's something else I think about with skate park designs. You know, when I'm in a skate park and I'm flying and I do a trick and I do a line and I come off the trick, and next thing you know, I'm in a space where I'm like, oh shit, I gotta stop quickly. It's like, who thought of this? Like, I understand if it's a street spot, that's cool. But if you're unintentionally creating difficult circumstances and hazards, that's a faux pas, that sucks. But if you are intentionally creating these hazards with the intent that people understand this is a hazard you should get used to so you can learn in the real life, real world, then by all means, I welcome it. I truly believe that skate parks are mini metropolises. They are tiny cities. And I think children who are getting into skate culture and skate lifestyle, and those who don't even understand skate culture and skate lifestyle, but just frequent skate parks, because skate parks, if you have not noticed, they have become a huge hangout spot for people from all backgrounds and demographics. I think there's a number of reasons why, socioeconomic reasons why, but it's just a cool place to hang out. And because of the landscape architecture, right? You've got mounds and hills and curves and bows and terrains. It means you unintentionally create a very, what's the word I'm looking for? A very dynamic terrain, which is very welcoming to humans. We love a space where it's both private and public, right? Where it's a little bit see-through, where I could sit in the corner of the ramp and you might be able to see me. Everybody might be able to see me from a particular 45-degree wide angle, right? But maybe on this side and this angle, you can't see me for shit. So when I'm smoking or I'm drinking or I'm shooting up or whatever I'm doing, I'm fucking my bitch, yada, 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 you can't see it. But then from this angle, maybe it's water, right? So I mention that because I love architecture. I love people. Unfortunately, they don't always love themselves and don't always know what's best for themselves. And what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander. I'm gonna keep this short, and I am out. Peace, love, blessings. One.
Back and forth.